Sitting here in my room, just hanging out for a minute. I went to the sale barn today, and I only managed to buy one animal. People were really just buying these animals. They were paying for them hand over fist, and I'm pretty sure it's because next week or starting tomorrow, the weather is supposed to start cooling down, and within a few days, it's supposed to start raining. And we had a little bit of rain about a week ago too, so the grass has already started to grow. And so people are, the whole thing about the cattle market from what I have seen is that when everybody buys cattle, everybody wants to buy cattle. And then, when people don't want to buy cattle, people don't want to buy them. So people were paying hand over fist for these, people were just scrambling for these animals. And I only managed to buy one animal, but that's okay. Even if I only managed to buy one animal, right? That still makes me enough money to, I guess, have made it worth it. But right now, everyone's just buying these animals up because it's gonna start getting cool, and when it starts getting cool, it's gonna start raining. So here, maybe in a couple of weeks, the market will kind of simmer down, and then it'll just be a business as usual. And maybe here in about a month, I'll take a bunch of 700-pound calves, take a bunch of them to the sale barn. Yep, I only managed to get one animal today. With everything, the amount of money that I'm making, I've actually been thinking about this because I figure, what am I going to do with the money, right? My whole thing about money is that there are things that you can do with money, but there are things that you cannot do with money. And so I'm like, well, what can I do with the money, right? What can I do with the money? What can I do with the money? I am set to make a lot of money. I will be making a lot of money. I will effectively make enough money, to effectively, I'll make a lot of money. All right, it's gonna be a lot. Okay. Here within about maybe 3 months, I'll be selling 10 animals every month. And even when I do that, I'll have 50 animals at home, and realistically at that point I could even leverage myself and get myself to selling 15 animals every month. And even when I do that, I would still have 80 animals at home. So that's the big question, right? Because the whole thing about money, from what I have seen and how I just do it, is that there are things that you can do with money and there are things that you cannot do with money. And the whole thing, so, I mean, when I have this money, it's like, what should I do with it, right? In terms of running my business and making myself more money, that is the primary focus, right? That is the primary focus. I've been talking about this even yesterday. I went into this idea of the way that I see it is that I might as well just grow my business with the money, right? I might as well, right? I mean, what am I going to, because the whole thing is that the running the business, it's challenging for me. It's I don't sell my soul to the devil for money. I don't do some horrendous thing, right? That's the big idea. So I figured I might as well just grow my business, right? I might as well just run my business. Why would I stop running my business? Why would I stop growing my business? The business is challenging to me. I make plenty of money. I make a lot of money doing it, right? And in terms of the things that you cannot do with money, I've spoken about this, right? Because the whole idea is, and this is a very honest way to put it, right? I've always said that the whole thing is, if everybody was a saint, all right, if everybody was legitimately a saint, then, things like communism and there are, saving people and all this, if we just all work together and stuff like that, I mean, I guess it would work if everybody was a saint, all right? But in reality, it's like people are malicious. People, people feel envy and it's like, and all sorts of things, all sorts of problems. The list of problems is very, 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 very long, okay? Most people are not just some singular dimensional problem. Most people are a massive pile of problems, and that's why they can't get anywhere with their life, okay? Most people, that's the case. If everybody was a saint, If everybody was a saint, then then it would be different. Okay, if everybody was legitimately a saint, then then we could go and save people with money, and and when whatever but you're not saving an idiot from themselves. Okay, if you're in the microcosm, if you're in a microcosm of idiocy, it's effectively too late. Nobody cares about your opinion. All right, don't go and validate yourself off of other morons. All right. The last thing you want to do as a poor person is hang around other poor people. I've talked about this all the time. All right, if you validate yourself off of idiots, all right, you're in what I call the moron megazord. So things that cannot be done with money, right? Things that cannot be done with money. Number one is saving people. You can't save people with money. And a very honest way to look at this is, the whole idea of giving money away. And I've always said that if giving money away would legitimately save people, then I would give away every dollar that I ever made and I ever make, and I would continue to work. I would continue to put in maximum effort until infinity and beyond, until whatever, until kingdom come. I would legitimately put in maximum effort. I would give it. I would do everything, and I wouldn't. My whole thing is. My whole thing about this, it's like, if I'm going to be punished, or if we are going to punish people for being successful, then why would I be successful? Why would I even try, right? That's the whole idea of, if I'm going to be required to give away money when I succeed, then people should be required to give me money if I fail, right? I mean, that's the only way that it's fair, right? I mean, we can't just have successful people give away everything, because then why would anybody, we can't have successful people just give away, whatever that they've worked for, because, then why would anybody choose to be successful, right? Nobody would choose to be successful. And that's my whole thing about it, and in all honesty, I talk about this all the time, but most rich people, including me and almost all of them, are just more or less just normal people. I think a lot of people don't understand this, that rich people are, a lot of wealthy people, rich people, all more or less just normal people, right? I mean, it's not like a massive group of malicious people that, because we were malicious, we just disproportionately made more money. That's not how it works. All right, if you go and you find yourself the worst rich person that you could ever find, they're effectively going to be just as bad as the worst poor person that you could ever find. Why would you single out the worst rich person that you could ever imagine and then convince yourself that all rich people are horrible people? Most rich people, they're just a normal person. They're not some horrible, malicious person, all right? A lot of poor people got a lot of problems, all right? Just because you're poor does not mean you're a good person. And, my whole thing is, what should I do with this money? I make a lot of money. There are things that can be done with money. And things that can be done with money, I will do, things that can be done with money, I will do with money. But there are things that cannot be done with money, and one of them is saving people, all right? One of them is saving people. You can't save people, all right? It's not going to happen. There's a very real possibility that if you give an idiot money, if you give a moron money, if you give an idiot money, you will just end up with an idiot that has money, all right? They're not going to magically turn into some wonderful individual now that they have money. And the whole thing about money is that money is so trivial. Money is so trivial. All right, money is so trivial. It's whatever. I mean, and also money's not an opinion, right? I've always said that the whole thing about, it just is what it is. At the end of the day, I actually made it. I do very well for myself. I actually managed to make it. I would say that here in the next, just within the next 3 or 4 months, I'll end up making myself probably $65,000, $70,000. All right, I'm not concerned about money at all. I do very well for myself, and I got a lot of things I'm working on right now, and things are coming together very well. These animals. By next week, I'll probably go and buy myself three more cattle or so. I'll be looking to buy myself three more cattle. And when I have three more cattle, that'll make me 15 animals here, and I'll take the 15 animals, and I will put them on the new lease property, on the 75-acre lease property that I'm fixing up the fence on. I'll put the 15 animals over there, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do after that. I may just go ahead and I'll have to figure out what am I gonna do after that, and then but that's where I'm at. I'm figuring out what should I do with this money. I will legitimately make about 65 grand in just the next 3 days, the next 4 days. It's more money than I've ever made. All right, I'm not looking to save people. I don't save people. One of the things that legitimately, one of the things that a major problem for most people, you know, and I guess if the money was large enough, I don't know, but me, it's money is so trivial to me. I mean, greed is one of those things that it's just really, it's a major problem and it's not good. All right, I'm not looking to be greedy. That's the thing. I'm not looking to be greedy. I would like to. I made deals with people, and the deals I will uphold my end of the deal, and even after I do that, I'll have a large amount of money left over. So gotta figure out what am I gonna do. I gotta figure out what am I gonna do. Uh, yeah, because I mean I can just grow my business, but even when I grow my business, I mean, but that's the thing. Is like I really want to figure out something I can do with the money that I believe will utilize the capital and be some kind of a morally good impact on the on everything, right? I want it. I want. I'm looking for opportunities to utilize capital in a way that would be morally good, and it would give me an opportunity to utilize the capital at the same time. I'm looking to do something that is morally. I've always said that in terms of, you should have a moral compass about things. All right. The whole idea of abandoning morality and just selling your soul to the devil and doing all these nonsensical things, at the end of the day, they don't pan out. All right, they don't work out. Why would you? I don't do that stuff. All right, I am looking to do something that is morally correct, and I am looking to do something that I would believe is morally good. And it is a large amount of money. All right, it is a large amount of money. It is Oh, it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars every single month that I am netting myself. It will be tens of thousands of dollars that I'm netting myself every single month, and I gotta figure out what am I gonna do with the money. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to do anything that's morally that's just morally unjustifiable. I'm looking for opportunities to utilize this capital to benefit more than just myself. And maybe I start hiring people. My whole thing. Maybe I start hiring people. My whole thing about hiring people is that when I pay somebody to do work for me, I give them a good wage. I give them enough money, and my whole thing is that people when I have people, when I pay somebody to work for me, or when I pay somebody to do whatever, to do a job, and I would hope that they don't just start cruise controlling. Okay, I would hope that they don't start coasting, and I would want everybody to be. I want to be surrounded by people that are looking to do better for themselves. All right, I'm looking for people. I want to look for people. I want to be surrounded by people that are ultimately looking to do better for themselves. I don't want somebody to just go, oh my God, $50 an hour. I'm just gonna work my 40 hours a week, do the bare minimum, and then go home. Right? I'm looking for people that are looking to improve. I'm looking for people that are looking to do better for themselves. And at the end of the day, when they come in, do something for me or whatever it may be, they're getting an opportunity to work on something that is, extremely, extremely, I do very well for myself, right? And a lot of people, when you watch me do what I do, it's probably the first time you've ever seen anything like it. Most people, it's gonna be the first time, other than like, well, I mean, not really, because I mean, then you got people building rocket ships, right? And then you got people working on the gene editing technology, and I'm not, it's not, but I guess in terms of in person, like most people don't get to see, gene editing technology, the development of gene editing technology in person. And so, if I hire somebody or if I, whatever, it may be 20 hours a week or whatever it may be, maybe even if it is 20 hours a week or whatever, that'd be $1,000 a week. I would hope that I don't end up with somebody that legitimately just cruise controls. That just starts coasting. All right, that looks to do the bare minimum. That's not who I want on my team, right? I don't want somebody. I'm not looking for people who are effectively just looking to whatever, do the bare minimum and then go home. And then just I'm looking for people that are looking to do better, people that are actively looking to do better for themselves. And I would I would be I would find it, I guess, morally correct. I would find it morally justifiable to offer this kind of work to people, right? And so I don't know. Maybe I hire somebody, right? Maybe I hire somebody, and you know, maybe I do that. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a lot of money. I will make a lot of money, and oh, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the money. It's just such a large amount of money. It is becoming such a large amount of money. It's like it's almost like, man, what the heck am I supposed to do with that? I mean, here in 3 or 4 months, it will legitimately be like $40,000, $50,000 a month. And it's like, what the heck do I do with that, right? I gotta figure it out. I don't want to do anything that's like morally unjustifiable, right? I don't want to. I'm not looking to sell my soul to the devil. I'm not looking to go and start doing drugs or gamble or anything like that. I gotta figure out something that I can do with the money that I would deem to be morally justifiable, because I can't give it away. Giving away money doesn't work. All right, giving away money doesn't work. There's a very real possibility that if you take somebody who's making $5,000 a month and you give them an extra $1,000 a month, you just hand it to them. There's a very real possibility that they just flat out work less. All right, there's a flat out possibility that they just end up cutting hours off their job and then just taking the $1,000 handout, and they would still just end up making $5,000 a month. There's a very real possibility that if you have somebody who's making $4,000 a month and you just start handing them an extra $1,000 a month, they'll legitimately just cut hours off of work. All right, and then they will still make $4,000 a month, but they will do that by receiving the $1,000 handout and then just cutting hours off of work. Okay, 40 hours a week is not even that much of a time commitment. I don't know why people freak out about 40 hours a week. If you're working 40 hours a week at a job, I mean, you should really have something else that you're working on. The other the other 2/3 of the other third of your day, because let's say you sleep for 8 hours a day, and realistically, if you're working 40 hours a week, that's 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. It's not even the whole week. So I mean, 40 hours a week is nothing. It's nothing. 40 hours a week doesn't do anything. All right, you're not going to get anywhere working 40 hours a week. And so, I got to figure out what am I going to do with the money. That's the big question. I will be putting it back into my business and growing my business, but even then, and maybe I could hire somebody, and then that would help me scale my business. But even then, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of money. Even after I pay for somebody, if I pay somebody to help me, and that still helps me scale my business, then there will still be a lot of money left over. All right, there will still be a lot of money left over, and so I gotta figure out what am I gonna do with the money. I'm looking to do things that are morally justifiable, and I'm looking for opportunities that will utilize the amount of capital that I make. It's going to be a lot of money, and I'm not looking to give away money. That's ridiculous. I don't give away money. Giving away money doesn't help anybody. All right, giving away money does not help anybody. If you legitimately think that giving away money is going to help somebody, you're an idiot. All right, you're not saving an idiot from themselves. If you give an idiot money, you'll just end up with an idiot that has money. All right, that's what you will legitimately end up with. And money, realistically, it's trivial. Okay, it's trivial. If I had nothing, I could make money. All right, money, it's trivial. All right, if you were dead set on making money and you were legitimately going to go out and do it, if you're average, you have a 98% chance of making it. Granted that you don't act like a moron. All right, money is trivial. It doesn't really it's whatever. So I'm looking for things that I can do with the capital. I'm looking for things that I can do with the money that I would see as morally justifiable. I would believe to be morally justifiable, and it will allow me to utilize the capital. And I gotta figure it out. What am I gonna do? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. All right, tens of thousands of dollars a month. So